Okay, and we are going to do a French seam on this pillowcase. So to do this, we are going to go ahead and fold it in half and pin it. And we're folding it in half so that the right sides are out. Okay, which is not kind of typically how we do things when we sew, but with the French seam, we do. Okay, so this is going to kind of give your seam a finished look on the inside as well, because with a pillowcase, we will be able to see the seam on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to line up my bottom edge and then my other long edge here. All of my raw edges I'm going to go ahead and line up. And I'm just going to go ahead and pin those. And if for whatever reason things are not lining up quite right, you're finding out that you need to do some trimming somewhere, you want to make sure that this top edge is lined up right, because you're not going to want to trim this. You want the finished fold. If you trim this, you will end up with a hole in your cuff. Okay, so don't do any cutting up by your cuff here. So you're going to want to line that up here. Okay, and then as you kind of pin things and you find that things are not lining up quite perfectly on your edges, you can trim some of the body fabric a little bit so that things line up a little bit more evenly. And you do want to make sure that your fabrics are lining up nicely, because when it comes to seam allowance, if we don't have those lined up right, and we are doing a small seam allowance, you will end up with a hole on your seam. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go over to the machine and I am going to sew, and I'm going to sew just along the two edges that I pinned. So along the bottom edge and then along this long side edge. And then remember how we pivot. So when I get down to the corner, I'm going to make sure that my needle stays in the fabric. I'm going to lift up my presser foot, and then I'm just going to turn the fabric and put my presser foot back down, continue sewing until I get to the end here. Back stitching at both the beginning and the end.